One of the absolute biggest things for crypto ever just happened, and almost nobody is talking about it. And what I'm talking about is Mr. Gary Gensler getting his ass out of the office and a completely new regime starting for crypto. And I had a discussion this morning, or rather this afternoon. And you know what was kind of funny about that? It was basically a discussion about me, or I should say me explaining why I think XRP still is quite cheap here. And they basically reverted back saying, if you buy XRP, you're ridiculously stupid. Here's why. And so it was a little bit of a back and forward, and it made me realize one very important thing. In these videos, I think, fully describe just how committed I am. You got to understand, I've been holding this coin for so many years. Most people look at me and think, hey man, how much XRP have you sold? Now the pump is going, oh, you must be doing really, really well, huh? And the only thing I'm thinking of is, this is nothing. What are you talking about, you peasant? Not in a derogatory way and like thinking they're beneath me, but more in the sense of, you think this is great? You think we've seen anything at all? I mean, even though I can't put any target on where it's going to go this run for sure, I keep thinking that most people's targets are quite low. If I had to put a base case down for what I would guarantee myself, I'm not guaranteeing it to anybody because I'm not your financial advisor and I don't know. But what I would say is like minimum $7, but most likely more inching towards like 20. And every single time I talk about it, people say, you're ridiculous or crazy. But then I look at Bitcoin, I look at the XRP dominance relative to Bitcoin. I look at the fact that right now the most bearish factor on XRP is gone. I look at the fact that Trump just said US coins were going to make it great. And the fact that basically all these new guys, basically sworn in by Trump. Let's again look back at this video right here. President-elect Trump's crypto czar, David Sachs, says the reign of terror against crypto is over and the beginning of innovation in America has just begun. I keep thinking, man, isn't this like actually worthy of like a 5x for all the US coins and for all the coins that were in some sort of trouble with the SEC? Even the chief legal officer of Ripple said, if I had told you 4 years ago that I'd be standing at the inaugural crypto ball in DC with Snoop Dogg, would you have believed me? Yeah, me neither. Because just a while back, they were getting sued by the SEC. They were in all sorts of trouble. And right now, all of a sudden, they're honorary guests, so to speak. It's kind of funny how all these things go. I mean, they did pay a lot of money. But on the opposite side, can you? Isn't it funny? Isn't it ironical how these things go? And here's another interesting thing. CZ, the co-founder of Binance, himself, he said, have you ever thought to yourself, I wish I had, and then bought Bitcoin early, bought the dip, held, learned about crypto early, ignored FUD. But when the opportunity itself or presents itself again, will you act? Today is earlier than all the days to come. Not financial advice. And that was January 14th, 2025. So just 4 days ago, all right? And Value in Time said, it's your fault for tweeting Bitcoin would dip from 100K to 80K. And he says, hey, if you click and follow, you won't see that. It doesn't exist for you. But he now, a few days afterwards, said the today in January 14 post was not referring to that specific day. It was a generalization that today is earlier than all the days to come. As a pure chance, even the short-term charts aligned with it, picking charts to support the narrative, not financial advice. And he basically there shows that he himself tweeted this when Bitcoin was at what, 93,000 or something like that. And then the price quickly went to 103. He didn't mean it for that reason, but the idea still counts. And I think a lot of people are not getting this. But when I have discussions with most of you guys that watch these videos, most people agree with me. When I have discussions with people who don't watch the videos, who are not watching the crypto charts every single day, or who don't hold any XRP, most people disagree. And my thoughts are that if you just right now get in, right, doesn't matter the price. You start buying every single day, every single week, or every single month. In a little bit, you'll be up a ton. But most people tell me no, because if you bought XRP 7 years ago, you'd still not be in a profit. And I keep saying, man, if you just bought the freaking dip, you went on buying, you could have bought XRP in 2020 at 11 cents. Or later on after the lawsuit, I think 2021 somewhere, at 17 cents. And I can keep thinking about it like that. Like if you just kept on buying, you could have even bought 2 months ago at 50 cents. Right now it's $3.50, right? Almost $3.20 maybe. I keep thinking, $3.20 is actually quite ridiculous for my brain to process, but when I keep thinking about where it's going to be, it gets cheap. Where I think about where it was last week, I keep thinking negative thoughts because I'm like, wow, it's up so much already. I don't want to buy at these levels, but then I still do. You guys saw me buy at $3 something in XRP because I've clicked this part of my brain, or I've switched it over, which on the one hand, I think, man, it's just way too high. On the opposite, I'm thinking, man, high, $3.30, $3.05, $3.90. It's all the same when we're going to $100 or so over the next few cycles. I'm not saying it's going to happen this time, but I'm thinking if my targets are that high, yours don't have to be, by the way. Just because I have such a high target doesn't mean you have to. But I personally don't think we're topping out anytime soon. I think the whole real crypto wave is only starting when Trump comes in and starts announcing bullish things. Then it'll take a few months to really marinate. Then we'll probably have a good crash, maybe towards the end of the year, maybe the beginning of next year, because this cycle might be drawn out a little bit extra because of the Trump boost. Then we have a good little bear market of sorts where things recover. But then before Trump's term is over, I think the upswing is again going to happen. A lot of interesting things will happen in that regard. As usually, a bear market only lasts about 1 year. So maybe, for example, January 2026 to January 2027. For example, something like that, or till November of 2026, something along those lines. And when I think about it like that, then well, I still probably have like 3 to 9 months, maybe even 12 months or so to basically accumulate more coins and get some crazy gains on it. Now, there's a chance that I right now am buying the highest point ever, but I still, in my head, know that in the worst, absolute worst case, all I got to do is just make sure I buy assets that will go up again in the future. They don't, funnily enough, even have to hit $3. If you bought XRP January 4th or 5th, 2018 at $3.50 a coin, and you just kept on buying for a few months, most likely your average price would have been below $1. Might have taken some time, right? And most likely your average price could have been below 50 cents if you just kept on buying. And eventually you would have been able to flip it for a ton of profit on the way up. Maybe within a few weeks, maybe within a few months. It depends on when exactly you buy, how often you're measuring it. But with me, when it comes to XRP here, I know if it goes below $2, I'll be able to flip it into profit soon anyway, or what. And what I can also do is switch over from my leverage positions to spot eventually. Just keep on holding, and hey, I've just now got a generational bag. But again, in my own humble opinion, with this whole new wave of Trump, my coins are so freaking bullish that it's very much worth the risk to me. It's very much worth all the downside that I might see on the short term, because I do not believe that there's a chance of failure. I do not believe it. A single bone in my body doesn't believe it. And that's the reason I keep all my coins. People keep laughing at me. Dusty, why aren't you selling? You've made such profit in XRP. Take it up. No, I won't. Even though I know it's getting riskier the higher it goes. I think we're on the brink of the big move. And if I'm in my head still think an 8x or maybe a 6x is still bound to happen, then this just doesn't really satisfy me. If you asked me like 3 months ago, I would have told you, whoa, if we go to $3, that would be amazing this run. Even though I think we're going higher, $3 would be amazing. Now we're there. I'm thinking, man, this is so low. Even $5 a coin feels just low. It doesn't even feel, I wouldn't even feel that happy. I mean, at $10, I'd be like, wow, this is what I dreamed of for a while. But it's only a 3x from the 2018 all-time high. We need to 3x every cycle. $3 to 9 to 27 this one before I'm really happy. I would be happy at like $10 plus. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying at $20 plus, I'd be like, oh, yeah, now for the cycle, this might really be the highest point ever. Even at $16, I could already get to that feeling. But the minimum I need for that is like 12, where I'm thinking, maybe things take more time than expected and there's some bearish factors. So 12 is the highest it could go this season because of all the negative things. But that's still like a 3 or 4x away from where we're currently at. And so I keep getting back to the idea of this is like nothing to me still. And I know I had this discussion a little bit in the afternoon somewhere today, and it reawakened in my head thinking, we've not seen anything. You don't know what you're talking about. The other side of the coin is maybe it's because I focus on it so much that I kind of just feel as if the probability of this is so high it's worth the risk, even though I know the downsides. And if you don't focus on it too much, you think, hey, it went from 50 cents to $3. It's extremely high. It's extremely overvalued. You should sell everything right now and forget it, give up, because Trump just launched his own coin. Everything is at peak value. Sell everything here, right? To me, it's like, well, everything is at peak, but they're at the peak for right now, just like how CZ said it, that basically you're as early as it'll ever get. From here on forward, you're always going to be later. And I've been making these videos 8 years in a row, almost 9 years in a row. I know that if I look back on times, I keep remembering every single time, for Bitcoin at least, was cheap. If you look back at any point in the past, it has always been cheap because we're basically at all-time highs. I kind of feel as if, even on the short term, it might look awful, on the longer term, you can only win, at least as of this point, until it's everywhere. But I think that's still like 10 years away. But at least the next cycle, right? This cycle, I think we're still extremely early to everything. Next cycle, things will get more nuanced as regulations and all the countries start bidding hard. But that's all for the future us to decide and think about. Right now, I'm just maxing everything out. I think the run is going to be crazy, especially once XRP really starts trending above its all-time high and starts just chasing new highs and new highs. I think $3.40, whatever it just hit, it's really nothing. Or rather, let me say, it's still quite an achievement. And by the way, if you also want to trade crypto, we're trading XRP over on Bluefin. A link for that is down below. You can use it from anywhere in the world. It's still quite an achievement for the coin to do these numbers. Don't get me wrong. Looking at it from the XRP to Bitcoin perspective, and I zoom out, I keep thinking, man, nah, we really haven't done that much yet, actually. We made some damage on the chart, sure. We've done some good numbers, but really, the craziest of the run is still upon us, man. I think, again, logically, US-based coins could do better than they've ever done before if XRP was able to go from this point on forward in the past at roughly 8x from where it is today, right? Because that's what it's done in the past. I think right now, relatively, they should be able to do even better than they've done in the past. From here on forward, you know, so just to get back to old prices is roughly an 8x, so from 320. 3.2 times 8, let's say, it's about $25. And if Bitcoin then doubles, that means that's about a $50 XRP. I won't say $50 this cycle. It's a bit too high for my own taste. But I'm just saying, if it goes back to those levels, which it might not, think about it in a slightly lower way, right? We take a look at these levels right here. These prices right here. Let's just say this is about a 4.5x. So again, from current prices for XRP at 3.2 times, let's just say 4.5, because this is plus 350%, is at $14.4 in XRP. Right, and this doesn't really look unachievable. You know, 13.5 thousand Satoshi. And then from here, if Bitcoin doubles, that again means times 2. So that's roughly $28.80 per XRP. I keep saying, it's really not that high when you look at what it's done in the past. And the fact that US coins are next, it's on top. It's worth the risk. That's all I try to say on this. Again, the XP bottom, I really keep telling people, the reason I think buying XP bottoms is so juicy is because we're about to see the craziest of cycles. That's why I've got my positions to open. We still got ourselves the 200K position right here. I've not closed it, even though we're in pretty good profit, because I think it's about to super cycle. No guarantees though, zero at all. This is just my thoughts and my strategy and what I'm trading. But you do as you please. I'm just stating, hey, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm going for. And even if it fails, right, it could be that I go minus $80,000 first. I don't give a crap because I know I'll be able to flip it for a ton of profit, especially if I buy that freaking dip like a maniac. And again, maybe I lose everything in the process, but I don't think I will. And if I do, hopefully it's a funny show for all of you because I can't see it happening. But hey, maybe I'm delusional. Maybe buying XRP at $3 is crazy work. And maybe it is, but I think if we look back at this in the past, it'll have been really, really cheap. And if I'm wrong, c'est la vie, huh? But at least that's what I'm doing. But yeah, that's about it. Make sure you put that notification bell on so you never miss out on another crypto video or update whenever it comes out. Because something crazy could happen in just an hour or something and you want to be notified. But that's about it for this video. Make sure you press that like button if you enjoyed it. Yeah, that's it.